Good morning, traders. Welcome to our London session. This session will be out on YouTube for the weekly outlook to my YouTube viewers. Some quick answers to questions that I've been getting, if you allow me. First question that I got is from some traders who had started the installment program but stopped it for whatever reason and decide to come back. If they can come back, and would the payment they made count? Yes. If you stop for a month or two and you come back, the payment you made will be added up. Your sum total is when you reach the full course, you moved into the group. We actually moved somebody into the group today who completed the course, started about 6-7 months ago. So at any point in time, you can stop, and at any point in time, you can rejoin. The sum total of your money will still be there. It's not going anywhere. So if, like you did, like what one of the traders did, he took up, think he paid for 3 months and then he stopped and he came back after 6 months and just paid the full sum. I don't know what reason people do things. That's not what I do here. I'm not spending the time finding out people's reasons for doing things. But if you do, you can rejoin and your money is still there. It will add up. For traders who have left the course, completed this, and spend a year here, two, and then left and want to come back, that's also your choice. You can come back. You don't have to pay anything. You just have to pay to be on the platform. That is Facebook workplace platform. That's $4 a month. That's nothing. All the members in the group pay that. That doesn't go to me. That goes to Facebook. So we've had people coming back for the last 3 weeks a lot, which is surprising to me because some of these traders were off like for 4 or 5 years. But that's good. I'm glad they're back. They have lifetime access and they're welcome to join anytime. We have one person joining today also who was off for a while. And, these traders, they come, they go, maybe their job, maybe life has had its own toll and, things happen. It's not that we are here to help you become successful traders. And we'll continue to do that. So you're looking at CAD because this was one of the trades we took on Friday. For some traders who took it, they probably closed the trade here because that was a choice. And some too, if you kept it, you're keeping it for a longer term with a stop here to be in this trade. And we were expecting it to go much more. So if you kept the long term when you're in the trade, you can put it to break even and stay with it. It might make more flags and we will keep selling it as we come down. But that would be different trades added to what you already have. If you closed on Friday, good job. You booked the profit. You should have been in this trade again. You probably should have joined it somewhere in here. We would look at that on the 1 hour here, the 15 minutes. But if you're in from the bottom here again, that's okay. We will give it for, we'll give it some time here. And if it doesn't go, we'll close, we'll wait for flags, we'll sell. So let's go to dollar index and we'll start. And by the way, if you're a new trader, which means if you're seeing this video very first time, if you've never been in my group, you don't know what it is all about, I would advise you to first go look at some more of my videos on YouTube. Go to my channel on YouTube, look at some more videos, try to understand what we do. What we do is called wave analysis. It's a forecasting method. I think it's the only forecasting method that works so accurately. There might be out there anything else. I probably don't know about them. The other methods are simply saying, this is a strategy. This is what you do. Here's a stop, here's an entry, and hope it goes. What we do is a forecasting method, forecast that can change even during the day. So what I'm going to give you here today, the direction that I'm going to give you today in the forecast, especially in the 1 hour, could change really, really fast. So you may say, well, then what is the value of it? Well, the value of it is that when it's changed and we see that change, if we are in the trade, we exit it. If we're not in the trade, then no problem. We might even change direction and buy or sell depending on what we were looking for originally, right? So, and if we were in the trade, we try to exit for a very small loss, maybe break even and then get on the other side of the trade, which is, if you don't understand the method, might sound confusing to you, but once you know it, it's just amazing because it gives you peace of mind in how you trade, right? And it really, really does protect your capital. So it's like the best method you can have to protect your capital. You're never gonna, if you follow the method the way we do it, and you follow the money management way and the trade management way, the way we do it, there's very, very little chance of you having a big bad trade. You're going to have bad trades, but not a big bad trade. You're going to have very small losing trades where your wins are going to be bigger. Because by rule, we literally close 90% of our losing trades for break even or small losses, smaller than you would have put where your stop loss was. That is by rule, and those are rules of how to do it, right? So we're in the trading room. My traders are in the trading room, and we're recording it for you. This will be out on YouTube. Some of the trades I'm going to identify now, by the time the end of the day, would be different. So please bear with me. What you're seeing here is the color codes for trades that we have. All of these are identified trades at different stage. We're either waiting for the trade to form, we're either in the trade, or we're actually, waiting for the trade to tag us. Each one of the color will tell you what stage we're in. I would change those as we go. So let's start. And if you would like to join us, send me a message on Skype. I keep forgetting to inform people how, because a lot of people write me all over the place on Facebook and on my email and all of that. I don't check Facebook and email that often. So send me a message on Skype, MANGAL 457. And please don't tell me you don't have Skype when you send me a message on Facebook. The time you will tell me to tell me you don't have Skype, you can download it. It will take you less than a minute to download. Send me the message and you'll get all the information. All right, so let's go. Dollar index. So dollar index, we were expecting a turn. As you can see, we already have the channel there, which was a turning point, and it did turn. There was a stop, it pulled back, and it's going down. Good. I think we might be starting a downside. Again, remember this one we thought was starting the downside. And this might be the one now. Well, let's see. I don't know if that's the one. We're still hoping that this is a running flat. Any sell setup here today would be a trade we'll be in. We just need a flag and we'll be selling. Right now in the 1 hour, we don't have a flag, but I think we will get a flag pretty soon. It's kind of consolidating here. So that's a sell setup we're looking for. This pullback was pretty deep. And I don't think we broke the top. Let me see. We didn't. That doesn't mean it can't drop. That just means we'll be a little more cautious on the sell. But any flag here would be a sell. 15 minutes is not the flag as yet. Just give it some time. You need this to consolidate here some more. And once we get that, we'll be selling. So I would say we're looking for a sell setup because I don't see a reversal point as yet. I see this more as a flag. If we're going to get a sharp pullback like this at any point, I don't think it's going to be here. But if this drops and start to pull back, and again, this is where the method is amazing. I'm saying this thing like it's normal. Like if we're going to get a pullback, and my traders follow exactly what I said there just now. Now, I want you to be honest to yourself. If you're watching this video and you're not in my group, did you really understand what I just said? If we're going to get a pullback like this, what we're going to do? I guess you didn't. So what we are expecting, this is what my traders understood. They understand that if this flag is to drop and break here, and for whatever reason it starts to pull back like this, to make a running flat here, we would either manage to exit that trade, or we'll have to make sure that our stop is away from where the possibility is that it's going to take you out there. By me simply saying, if we're going to get a pullback here, we would have to manage this trade. My traders understood everything I just said to you. Because once I said we're watching this one, they know we were expecting an equal, well, almost equal kind of pullback for a running flat and then a drop. See? So sometimes when I do these webinars, I tend to forget that I'm talking to a crowd of people who might not have any understanding of wave analysis. So if there's a point where I say something and it doesn't make sense to you, go to my channel, look at some more videos. The more you look, the more you'll start to understand the way I analyze these charts. Because right now I'm talking to my traders, right? So now that we see this, right, there's a possibility that that could be part of a possible running flat. We will take this trade if we get it as a sell setup. If it consolidates in this range for one more up, I'm not sure we'll take the buy. We'll decide on that. But right now, it could become a sell setup here if it stays in this range, and then we'll sell it. So we're looking mostly for a sell setup because we broke out as well, right? So let's see. Look, here's an example of a running flat that formed. And we kind of watched this, right? When we thought that was a small one, and then it consolidated, and we were like, okay, be careful with that consolidation. It can go back up and make something like this and then drop. So if we were in that trade, we would close the trade here, just expecting it to do something like this and then drop. And it actually did that. Now, even this would not have been a problem because when you're expecting that running flat, your stop goes here. So this next drop was a trade you would still be in, or if you're not in and you'd closed it here, we would re-enter that trade either at this point or either in this flag. So right now we're waiting for a flag here to sell. Let's see if we get it. I'll put that as a flag to sell. I think this is much easier. This was a sell, we didn't break the low. So there's a good chance that this would be a consolidation for a sell. All right, we kind of didn't break the low, so I don't think we're totally going up. I think we're just consolidating, which means if this pattern is what we think we're going to get, there's a lot of up and down coming here before we break. So we'll probably be in this range for a while up and down, and then we're expecting it to drop. Can this be a start of an up move from this point? I think it can, but I don't think it will, because we're still expecting this to come and break this low. So if you were following me from since whenever, you would have seen me, at least the last two, you'd have seen us say that this is one, that is two. Not breaking this low means we'll go break the top and then come back. We didn't break the top. But every time we got this, we thought of the possibility of a contracting flat, and those were sell setups you're looking at. Even this was a sell. So what we would look for is when this consolidation is finished, we're going to get a drop here. Let's hope we get this trade this week. So the question is, if next week I come and it's at the bottom here, we're expecting up move, and you didn't get that trade, well, you would have to consider if you want to learn this stuff, because we are going to get that trade if it happens. And most likely we might even get it from the top. Again, I don't think this is turning. I don't see a point where it's turning, and this looks very much like we're making a flat here. Depending on the range of this, we might be selling from the top downwards. I think we can do that. Yes, we'll get some sells in it as well. So let's see. This could be a flat. This could literally be a big flat forming here. For my traders, if you look at this, there's a possibility that these might be part of that for a bigger flat. You got a big part in there. And this could be the final one up. So any sell setup we get, we'll take. If it's going to go up, let it break that up, consolidate before you buy. But the sell is most likely what we're looking for because of the depth of the pullback. So this would be wait for a sell setup and probably from the top. Gold. Okay, gold broke out. This was a buy that came back down because we saw that flag. We didn't think it was going to go very far. If you were in the buy, you should close it. You can see this was a sell setup here. Under the low, that would change. It didn't break out. That means we're in a big flat forming right now. I think we can put these two sharp ones for running flat. I think we have ourselves a running flat here. Right, so this sharp move down here, this one, that sharp move down there, I would take that out. I don't think it's this one. Or even if we put it with that, and then we'll put this one as the running flat. So we can make an argument for this as a move up, a running flat here, one move up, another running flat here, an expanding flat, sorry, because this one expanded, and then we're going up. So it's just a series of flats going up. Watch it when it comes there, look for sell setups. It's pretty flat, right? That's the definition of a flat. So let's see if we get a sell setup somewhere from the top here. Actually, you want it from the very top here. And that should bring us down back to retest this low. There is a very small possibility of them coming back to retest this top and then drop because we did break the low. But this piece is not how it should go. So we're not expecting that to happen. This looks more like a flat to drop. So if it's going to drop, we're going to come and retest this low here. Let's see if we get a sell setup. You can't sell it until it breaks the top and turn. Should we buy it to the top there? No, bad idea. We're looking for a sell. So we look for a sell setup here too. Euro. Yep. Broke out of the channel, but it's just making a deeper correction. So what we do is you'll put this as a small correction, not a channel. That would be a small correction there. This would be the final drop. And this is just a bigger correction. So one more downside still possible. I don't think this is the start of the upside. Again, if they're starting those up moves, they're pretty deep in the pullback. So we would assume that they're not because of the depth of these pullback that they're getting. So which means this is going to come back here and very likely go back up. Because in this one, I don't see anything to match this. We don't have anything to match this. We got this one. We can make an argument for that. This comes up here. You can expect it to come here, make a flat, probably go back up and then drop. I'm not sure we'll get another one, but yeah, they could possibly make another one too, another flat. So any sell setup from the top here is a good idea. Wait for a sell setup. You can put an entry here if you want. Keep it under the low, not under this in case it makes a running flat or so there. And if it comes on really slow tag, you got to be careful. But let's see, we can go with the sell. We'll be looking for a sell setup. Pong. I think the depth of this pullback here too didn't break the low, so we should anticipate that they're making a bigger correction and then drop. Although Pong, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes up from there. That could be a deep pullback and Pong still just go. Right? Not necessary, but it could be a deep pullback and they still go. So let's keep an eye and see if they drop. It's one more drop to the downside, and then be aware that from that point it could go back up. So if we're getting this sell, it's just going to be one drop here and then expect it to go back up. So 15, since it's consolidating, I'm going to take this off. That would have no meaning if it's consolidated there and drop one more. Right? It will just be a series of flats. Separate from this. Right? So this would just be another flat of its own. Like a 1, 2, 3. I don't think we have an equivalent here. These are smaller ones. So let's expect this to drop. See, anytime. If you get a sell setup from the top, we'll take it. We already broke the top. We don't have a sell setup, but if we do, we'll go with the sell. It's kind of an aggressive entry if you want to go for the sell in that 15 minutes. So for the traders who can manage that, you might want to give it a try. So I'll put wait for the sell setup. That means you wait for it to come more than make the flag, but there's a 15-minute flag that's very, very aggressive. That could be a flag for upside, so you'd have to manage your way out of it really quick. So should this not drop, but instead, do this for upside, you'd have to be able to make the decision to exit it and then go back up. We can do that in the trading room. We'll be back in the trading room for New York session. Let me see if there's any special event today. No, nothing. So the next session will be in the New York session with us. But if you can manage, it's worth it. Aussie. Okay, this dropped exactly as we expected to do and went right up. I hope you guys got this trade this morning. If you got anything from this, like we got that one, right? If you got anything like this, is okay, great. So this one, it would have been either break even, but I think you should have taken some profit when you see it turn, because we anticipate that it could come here, turn and go back up, right? This wasn't, and we assume that it's going to do this one, which is the equivalent of a 1, 2, 3, and that means we still have one more up. It's a much more than we expected. I didn't think they were going to go that much more, and if they keep doing that, then you're thinking, is it turning? Could that be a big flat for a turning point, right? Could this here be a big flat? It is a big flat, but could that be a big flat for turning instead of going down? Every time we see one like that at the bottom here, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, come down. But if this takes off and consolidate here, that could change. This could be upside. Remember, we are at the point where it can turn. And the bigger picture, it can turn anytime. Right? We broke this low already. We broke that low already. It can also keep going some more, which means this could drop one more and then go up. If this is the one go up, any flag here will buy. Any flag. You see, you want to see the turning point looks like this. Sharp reversal. This one also. See, that's a pretty sharp reversal. You really don't want to see a turning point looking like a flat. It's not that it's impossible. It's an impulse, right? It's a correction, an impulse and a correction, a small impulse and a deep correction. Normally, that's how flat forms, not how turning points happen. So watch this here. Any flag we buy, any reversal we sell. Any drop with a flag we sell. Right now, it's not anything. It's just kind of staying at the top there. This is a 15-minute flag. Don't buy it. Yeah, this would just break the top and reverse. So you want to make sure that you're getting a solid 1 hour flag here before you buy it. So we'll wait. I'll put that both ways. You're keeping an eye for both ways. New Zealand, same here. It didn't drop way beyond. We couldn't sell in New Zealand because we didn't have a setup to sell it. We did sell the Aussie. And yep, it's still going back up. So let's take this out. Put this in the 4 hours. And we kind of make it, we do have divergence. I'm not going to check that because we have it all over, right? So the question is this the turning point, or do we drop one more and it turns? Will it drop one more here and then go up? I'm more inclined to believe there's one more drop coming. The turning point, you want it to look like this. You want to see that sharp move and then the flag. We're actually looking like a flag at this moment. So I don't think this one wasn't the turning one. This wasn't the turning one. It doesn't look like this one is trying to turn. So go back to the 1 hour. Any sell setup from the top will be a trade we will take. We don't have anything right now. We're just coming down. Actually, it's really nice. You want it to drop some more here, and then you want a little flag here, and this would be a perfect sell setup. Give us a flag like this or a flag like that, and that would be a perfect sell setup. Break the low, move in the profit, because once they break that low, it could turn to the upside. It doesn't mean it's going to stop at the low. It means, but once you break the low, you got to be careful that the turning point could happen. This will go back up. There's no question of whether this is going to go back up. Just in case you're watching this and, wave analysis is not your thing, I'm telling you this is going to go back up, and that's like a 99% guarantee it's going to happen. Well, you can keep an eye on it to see whether it's going to happen. So then you would know how wave analysis works. Because we're expecting that up move and we're going to get it. It's just a matter of whether it's going to go now or it's going to drop one more and go. I think it's going to drop one more and go based on the way we looked at this piece. But let's see. Any consolidation at the top, we will buy. Any reversal, drop, big flag, we will sell. So I'll put it both ways. I don't think it's both ways, but I'll put it both ways just that you don't miss the flag should it make a flag at the top there. CAD? Yep. I think this was a good one from Friday. You're either still in it or you took profit Friday and you re-enter. Any flag sell. And since we know this one is going to come here, it could come all the way back, retest this low, or it's just going to come here and then go right back up. So we're going to see which one. If this is dropping already, I wouldn't be surprised if Aussie and New Zealand is turning, even with the patterns that they have that looks like flat. Right? We'll see. But I think there's a very good chance this drop and they still don't turn. They still kind of get a drop. You could get a correction in the CAD while that is happening if it's a dollar movement. This could be a CAD separate thing. So any flag you get, sell. If you're holding it for the longer trade, you should still be in it and wait for another 1 hour flag, sell it again. If you were not, I hope you sold this morning, which means if you took that trade, took it off, I hope you sold this morning. It's going really good. So this would be any flag sell, by the way, yes, any flag sell. Swiss. I don't think the Swiss is going like we bought the Swiss, but we closed that for break even. I don't think it's going down. Swiss is more like the Aussie and the CAD. This is upside. So there's a good chance that CAD might be the only, sorry, this is like the Aussie and New Zealand. The CAD might still go. I think Yen will also still go. They have nothing to do with these. Those could be separate movements. So there is no sell setup here. When it comes here, we probably be looking for a buy set. Right? If this is doing what we think it should do, it should go up. Now, whilst this go up, I wouldn't be surprised if CAD corrects. Not totally go up, but correct. So CAD could go up in a correction, and this could give you an impulse up. If this breaks out, we want the trade, because remember, we're out of the 4 hour structures, right? We're out of the downtrend, and we'll be out of this 4 hour structure. So that buy is definitely something we will take, because potential to the upside is huge. Now, if it's going to drop, let's assume that's a big flat at the top there to go down. Let's just make an assumption that this is a big flat here, but that big flat is actually downside. Well, only if we get a consolidation under here, we'll go with that trade. So without that, don't try to sell this. Wait for the buy. So I would actually put wait for the buy setup, and then we'll see what happens. Yen, sell. Any flag you get, sell. Wait for a flag to sell. I'm not sure if we broke the top, but I think we did. I would consider that broken. We tag it. All right, so consider this could be the top. See? So this trade was good. If you took it, 1, 2 entries you had. If you close the trade, you did excellent. All right, so let's take that out now. And I'll take this off. And I'll make the assumption that that is the top. I'm not sure if we broke the top. If we didn't break the top, there's a good chance we could retest it. Or, yeah, there's a good chance you could retest it if that happens. But I think there's a very good chance we might be going down. But it's easy to do, right? You either consolidate here and you sell, or you reverse and make a flag and then we buy. Right? So you reverse, you make a flag, and then this is a buy. The same thing we do here. So let's see. Any reverse to the flag is a buy, any consolidation sell. I'll leave both ways. Euros. So Euro-Oz and all the Oz Euros dropped. This would eventually go up. We thought it would just break the low and go up, but it's here. So we're going to expect this move up at some point. Right? That will just be a big flat for downside. Literally, that is just going to make a bigger flat here. And then downside. That's a version of a smaller one like this and a version of this one. So you had 1, 2, 3, then you made 1, 2, 3. Now you're making 1, 2, and you're going to drop for the 3. Let's see if it's going to start from here. So all the other Euro pairs, Pound pairs, Aussie pairs, CAD pairs, New Zealand pairs, if you guys on the YouTube channel needs it, you would have to join us live twice daily, London and New York session. And we do them live. We do all the trades. We follow up everything. So if you need all of that stuff, just send me a Skype message. I'll tell you how you can get access to it. Let's look at natural gas. Natural gas. Okay, be careful with the sell now. It might still be a sell, but you have to be really careful because once they break this low, right, it could go back up. I don't like the depth of that pullback, but we'll keep an eye on this and see. And this is what's one sharp piece. Right, this was a flag we wanted to sell, but then it went up pretty high. So if you get a flag here, then you go for the sell. So unless you get a flag here, ignore the sell until it breaks out. Let it break out of the structure and consolidate. But if you get a flag there, you could sell it. So unless you get a flag, forget about it. Take this out, wait for a flag. US oil. Well, this sell is a break even. I think that took a long time. It's kind of a buy, put an entry here for the buy. Right now it's coming down. I think we'll retest this low. We're going to come back here. I'll put all of this in the consolidation and then we're looking for the buy. So put this here. And this is a good example of what I was just talking about in the start, where we were in this sell, it didn't go, we closed the sell for break even. And we're thinking, well, there's at least one more high here before they go. There's at least one more up move starting from somewhere here. There's a buy setup that we look for before it actually go, because right now I think we're coming down for this piece will come here for a flat and then go back up. So you could get a buy and then break the top and then it's going to come back down because it's not going to take off like a rocket from there. So you can look for a short-term buy setup. S&P 500, okay. So we're in the middle of a consolidation, and I mean in the middle of it totally because we've got to drop down. We've got to move up, we've got to drop down, we've got to move up, we've got to drop down. If this is finished, if that flat there is finished, then this would probably go back, retest the top, but it has to come back here to complete this one and then go. So there's a buy setup to get, small trade. And I mean a really small trade if you get the setup. We don't really have anything here. Let it make a flag and then go for the break of the top. If you don't get it, let it break the top. And then start to look for the down move because we're going to put this as the flat. And then we're going to wait for one more down before it goes. So I would say let this happen. Just let it break the top. Wait for the sell setup and then take the trade because you're not going to get to the risk to reward in that trade to the upside. So I'll take this off. We'll look for a sell setup eventually. I still think this could drop. It's kind of going up, but it still could drop. Probably a bigger consolidation. We can still put the entry order. We don't have a buy setup, so we can still put the entry order here for the sell. I'll go in the 1 hour, let's see, yeah, in the 1 hour. You can still put it there for the sell. You're not going to buy at the top of this structure. That doesn't make sense. So what we're going to wait for is if it's going to continue to go up to retest this top, you need a flag. And you would need a flag above the top. So if we're doing something like a 1, a 2, and a 3, you need this to go up there, make a flag, and then buy that to break this stop. So if you get a flag buy, if you don't get a flag, your sell entry should be there, which means should this stop right here and drop, you want this trade. We'll only consider the buy if it consolidates here. Then we'll consider the buy. So I'll leave it open for both sides. NASDAQ, same here, right? So take out that, that's the top of this impulse. That never broke out. It's kind of do here. You're kind of looking for this. We're looking for a sell setup. Keep it right here and stay with the sell. We don't have any buy setups. What do we have in the S&P 500? Nothing much. I'll pull this. Either you get a flag or not. Then US 30, where was it? Same thing. They all have the same structure. So they're going up, but you can buy without the flags, but the sell, if it's going to happen, you want to trade. Let's see what DAX says. So there's a buy setup here. Take this off. We didn't get that low. There's a buy setup here actually this morning. It might be worth giving this a try to see if it breaks out. All right, if that breaks out, then we're still in the correction. That has not changed. We'll just put it like this and expect it to retest this top. I'd expect it to retest the top. Once we get back to this top, if you get another flag buy, come back, retest this top. And then from there, we'll check if we still get this or if they continue to go. I think the downside is still there. So come retest this top, and then we're expecting it to drop. We trade this, some of our traders trade this. Okay, this is going up, but we haven't broken the low, so take it with caution. Wait for a flag, buy it to the upside, and when it comes to this top, you'll see what happens. Because we haven't broken the low, so we could still be in the consolidation. Tesla. There's a buy setup forming there. This was a buy, take it off. That was a buy from here, then spiked, it come back, it's consolidating, it's a buy setup. You could get it from lower if it does drop, right? If this does drop here, start to go back up, you could get the trade from here going up. So let's see. Nifty. Okay, Nifty already took off. So this would have been a buy here. Wait for another buy setup. Once it breaks the top, though, be careful. And you can see from this, we knew that was kind of a channel for upside, more like correction. And let's go. Bitcoin. Yeah, it's still downside. That hasn't changed. Right? Even this piece is still downside. That hasn't changed. So there's a good chance we're going to drop pretty deep. Keep your eyes out for the sell. XRP. Okay, this one is already dropping. We're expecting this. I was expecting it to retest this top first. Like go there and then come back, making this a flat. That didn't happen. So we probably got some contracting flat or running flat in it. And we'll see. We're still in this structure though, even though we broke the low. So you kind of have one here. You have one here. I'm going to put it as a small one for now, but then you got a series of small ones if you look at it like that. If you put it for a possible bigger contracting flat, you'll get this one. And keep looking for sell setups, at least until you come to the low. And then you're going to get one more impulse up. So what you should be looking for is this one. Anytime here soon. Right? So if this turns, give you a flag buy. If it goes lower, make it, wait for it to reverse, give you a flag, and then the buy. The sell might be not so relevant right now. Because the sell, once they break the low, they'll turn. So better to look for the turn to the upside. This is still consolidating, so it'll probably still drop some more. Actually, it didn't go up. I was expecting them to go up faster. They didn't go. It drops, so take this off. That would have been a break-even trade. Put it there, let's see. I still don't think this is all the consolidation. So I think we will be probably making something more like this. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get this 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 there, and then drop. Right, because this has a consolidation, this has a consolidation, this one has a consolidation. Yeah, I think it makes sense. All right, let's see how we look at that. Probably at this point, look for one more up move and then the downside. 80. Yep, downside it actually broke. It could still come and break the low, then go back up. This was downside. I think this sell was good. You can take it off, put another sell set up here. Should be okay. Okay, this did come down the way we expected to come, actually exactly this point. So from here, what you'll be looking for is a continuation to the downside or a reversal. A continuation means consolidate, drop, consolidate, drop. Reversal means you want to see this at some point, make a sharp move. Do this and then continue to go. All right, so both of those are possible. We just have to wait to see which one is going to happen. BNB, still downside. This is still downside. Dot also downside. So nothing has changed in most of them. Linked, I think, is the same thing, downside, yeah. And this one, downside. So all of them that we expect to drop, all of them drop. That's kind of normal. That's what you expect. And this one probably dropped a little too. Actually, this one starts to drop broken. It's kind of going back up. So the question is the flat? Because if this is a separate flat, then we can totally go up. Right, this just made a flat here. And this is definitely looking upside. So let's see which one it is. So, okay, guys, once again, for all my YouTube viewers, hope you like what you see. And if you would like more of it, join us live. It's going to cost you less than a cup of coffee. Although, if you decide to go on as an installment pair for the course, it's going to all be free. Right? So, hope you got that. I'll stop the recording. And you guys trade with care, by the way.